So, hello. Yes, this is a very different place where I'm making the show today. And no, it's not a radio show. It ain't a radio show. It is the live tech show. And let's just do this and that. Everything seems pretty cool. Hey everybody, welcome aboard this number 100 show for the live tech show. And today, no questions, no news, we'll just go through whatever we want to talk about. And nice to have everybody on board for this number 100 in this very unusual spot, as the other room is busy. So I actually came over here to the show. So anyways, nice to have you on board. What's the barbed wire with lights behind you? The barbed wire with lights behind me. It's probably the Christmas lights that are here, which are across all of the window here. And today is snowstorm day. Now I barely could see the other side of the street. It kind of calmed down a little bit. But we're supposed to have anywhere between 30 and 40 centimeters of snow or something. Show number 100. So, of course, we have our nice little Fanzimone beer right here. Really chilled, cooled. So let's open this little beer. And should I? I usually hold it. Let's see if it pops like a little champagne here. Well, he wants to. So let's pop it open. And here we go. Almost. There we go. That's the 100th show. But it's not champagne, it's beer. So, cheers everybody. We are going to pour this fine Belgian style triple ale, and of course this is made by a brewery here in Quebec. Well, actually that was bought by Sleeman, which is bought by Sapporo, which is kind of very international, but at the basics it was a really a Quebec beer first. So hello everybody, welcome aboard. Nice to have you on board, everyone, as we are at show number 100, and this is incredible. I never thought. So I went back in time and I decided to look at what was the date of the first show. So we actually had our first show on October the 6th, 2015. So basically October 6, 2015 is all when it started. Basically, we I never thought we'd go to 100, and it's time flies. Time really flies. It's just crazy. So hello everybody, Tim Robinson, nice to have you here. Josh Kinder, nice to have you on board. Douglas Elliott, Patrick Manny. What else do we have? Nils Pedersen, hello there. Raju Ray, just Google it and you'll find tons of information on that. Josh Kinder, nice to have you here. Yeah, the show starts with a bang. It's not as good as a champagne, I mean, it went far, but it's not like a champagne bottle full of, but it depends on the beer, because sometimes it is strong enough to really give a good push, but this time was halfway. So nice to have you here, and I need to try that beer, Nils Pedersen. I need to look at it if I can find it somewhere, maybe at the liquor store here. They have a lot of imported beer. I need to check that out. What else do we have? So Albert Zappa, hello there. What else do we have? What else do we have? Sean Robinson, Christine Bowman, pretty cool. David Walker, Tim Robinson, of course. Thomas, who won net neutrality? Hard to say. Adam Guardado, nice to have you here. Anybody else that I've missed? Please say hello. Please say hello. I want to say hi to everyone. Even if you've never said hello in the chat room because you're shy, just say hi. Just so I can see that you're there. I want to see everybody. Christian Abdel, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And it's nice to have all of you here, by the way. So Thursday, if we are lucky, we'll have a build. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Hey, Brian Wilson, nice to have you here. Basically, we are, you know, nothing prepared today. It's just going to be, let's talk. I'm going to talk a bit about different little things I want to, so we're, you know, we're getting in 2018. So we're going to, hey, Bobby Burgess, I believe I did, but maybe I didn't. Sometimes I jump over names. Sorry if I did jump over your name, Bobby. Always nice to have you on board. Cool Feck, nice to have you here. Rick Sader, nice to have you here. Yep, today is Patch Tuesday, absolutely. So check out your machines as it is Patch Tuesday today. I've updated this machine a little earlier, and basically everything seems to go well. And we'll be posting the full the video of the full log of what's in there, what does it fix, and basically updates. The updates rolled out as usual 1 p.m. Eastern today. They're already on my machine. It brings your if you're on the Fall Creators update, it brings your machine to 16299.125. So really nice to have everybody on board. Andre Arias, nice to have you here. Hi, I am Orange. Nice to have you here. So basically, if you want to upgrade your Windows 7 to Windows 10, I am the Orange. Just upgrade it through the media creation tool and enter your and keep note of your Windows 7 product key. No Spedicin yet. 2018 soon. Everybody is going to have gray hair, and you know, it's really going very fast, I can tell you that. Yeah, you're not the only one, Brian. I'm waiting patiently for a new build. I think we're gonna have a build you know, Thursday, and then we won't have anything before we come back in January. Hey there, Grateful Pearls, nice to have you here. And Buster Brown, nice to have you here. Yeah, kind of. I've always been a little pirate at heart. I've always been a little off scale, you know. It's funny because I get a lot of people talking to me, you know, about, you know, our way, you know, there's a friend of mine, a girl that's on Facebook. And we've known each other for, I guess, about 20 years. And she was mentioning the other day we met at the karaoke bar and have a few beers. And she was telling me, she said, you know what, you're the most, of all my friends, you are the one that has the most weird life, meaning, you know, work life and style life, because of how I am and what I do, you know. And she said, I've always admired how you know, can do all of those things and you know, make a living. And I said, well, you know what, I probably am surprised myself also about all of this, but I've always been rather, you know, off scale on pretty much everything. I've always been a little different, and you know, I've always wanted to be different, actually. I think it's a need. It's not even something I am. It's a need. The day I will do a 9-to-5 job, taking the bus, or, you know, whatever, And you know, I think that day means something inside me will have died suddenly, because that's not the kind of guy I am. I mean, I did my 9 to 5 job for, you know, I've had several jobs. I did my 9 to 5 job, what, for about, let me see here, you know, for 12 years of my life. For 12 years of my life, I had my 9 to 5 job. And, you know, went to work like everybody in the morning, came back home tired and depressed in the evening, and, you know, had several styles, different styles of jobs. Some, you know, boring jobs, some more interesting than others. And, you know, from the start, I think from when I had my first job, I remembered. When I had my first job, I was full-time, I'm telling here my full-time job. My first full-time job, I was 19 years old when I had my first full-time job. And basically, I think from the first week that I worked, I thought to myself, oh my God, there must be something better than this. And you know, that's what makes me what I am and where I am today, I guess, you know. But I totally concur and totally agree with her. I am a very unique person, a very bizarre person in some points. For some people, I might be out of scale, you know. You can't really put me inside a. When I look at statistics, you know, when they do these general statistics on the population, I look at the stats and I'm like, wow, okay, that's the people, the majority of people, and that's me somewhere here. So it's kind of funny, you know. Hey, Cycler39, thank you for the 100. Gregor Dodklidja, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. What else do we have here? We all want a new build, absolutely. Does the Windows Plus dot for emojis work in the UK? Ah, that's a good question. I guess somebody can answer. I would guess so. So, yes, we do want... Yeah, it's like candy, absolutely. We are... You know, insiders are like kids with candy. I mean, we want to have those new builds. So, yeah, 72, Albert 72. I'm also 48. I'm going to be 49 in March. 1 year left before I get to the big 5-0. And you guys probably all done the same. Do you guys remember when we were like 18 years old or 20 years old and we're like, oh God, 40 is so old, or 50 is so old. And then you get to 40 or 50 and you're like, oh man, I feel so young. You know, 90 is old or something. It's like, you know, as we get there, we kind of push back what is old in our minds. And the funny thing is, in our minds, we stay the same age. I mean, I always make it, you know, a funny comment every time somebody asks me, do you change your mind? And I say, well, in here, I still don't have the legal age of drinking. So, you know, it's what you do, I think. It's what you do, I think, that maybe keeps you young also. You know, I mean, I'm doing something out of the ordinary. You know, YouTube is, for a lot of people, something made by the young generation. And when I look at that, well, this is interesting. So, you know, it's for the young generation, and it's something that's kind of, you know, maybe keeping me young, basically, I would say. So thanks everybody for the round of applause. I haven't taken my sip of beer. So cheers everybody, here's to 100. So, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Niels. It would be great if it was like in the movies. So thanks, everybody, for the round of applause. I'm a beginner. It's show 100. Do you think I can participate and learn something? I've Windows 10. I don't know anything from Windows 7, 8. Malcolm Smith. Yes, absolutely. Today won't be the best time to learn, but yes, this is a great place for that. Absolutely. Yeah, like Dolly Parton. Actually, you know what? I have something like 4,000 songs in my Groove Music that's stored in OneDrive. And I'm kind of bored of listening to the same groups all the time. I mean, I'm kind of bored of listening to some U2 or stuff like that. So I've in that 4,000 songs, there are things that aren't mine. There are things that come from other people that I've never listened to, and there are tons of songs also that I haven't listened to in a long time. So what I've done is I've almost every time I take a walk or I go to the groceries or something, I put my phone on the shuffle with the earphones on, the earbuds, and I found it really, really interesting because I came to that Dolly Parton song 9 to 5, and I had not heard 9 to 5 from Dolly Parton in probably 15 years. And I was like, oh man, 9 to 5, and it brings back memories. Also, it brings back memories of when you were in high school. Brings back, a lot of stuff. And by the way, anyone that gets or watch this show today, not too many questions on tech stuff. I ain't in the mood to answer tech questions today. We're gonna just, talk about life, talk about who we are, So, yeah, Tim. I had okay bosses for most part in my life. If I think of my bosses, most of them were okay, except it's funny because the last job that I had, I at the end I was a boss, and I had 10, 20, 12 employees to take care of, and the big boss that I had to answer to was probably one of the most idiot, moron that you can think of, except when he loves you. And the funny thing is that boss hated everybody except me. And so even though that boss was, and I'll say it again, the most idiot moron ever, because he loved me, I always was okay. I never had any issues with him, ever. But it's sad because sometimes he would come in the back where the employees were working, and he made them, he made some really bad comments. He made some comments that were so not nice. He was bad, I mean, he was horrible. And I don't know how many times employees came to me and said, man, I have a hard time accepting what he told me. And I said, look, man, that guy is an idiot, but he does what he wants. So if you complain, you're out of here. So it's up to you to think what you want. And I would always tell him, you know what, I work here. I know how idiotic he could be. Just ignore it. Make yourself a little something like a wall and just ignore it. I mean, but it's sad because when you see that, it's like, yeah, I feel for you, man. I feel for you, but that guy was stupid, And I always remember that guy didn't think of anything. And I remember once we had a really, really rush afternoon. We really, really had to get out all the stuff that we needed to do. And of course, part of that was I had to be there because there were a lot of problems and I needed to fix a lot of things. And I remember he came in the back and he had bought a new Porsche Boxster. And he was so happy with his Porsche Boxster that he looked at me and said, "Hey, Gilles, come and see my new car." And so he shows me his Porsche Boxster. But in my mind, I'm like, well, we have a rush in the back and there's a lot of stuff to be done. He looks at me and said, "Hey, let's go for a drive." And it's like, Okay. But being so moron idiotic, you could not refuse that guy. If I had said no, he would have gone crazy. You couldn't. So for 3 hours, I was paid going around town in a Porsche Boxster in a beautiful summer day. And when I came back, I saw the face of everybody in panic mode. Where were you? Well, when that guy asks you to get into his car and take a drive for 3 hours, you just shut up and do it. What do you want me to say? It's some of those weird, things that you just always remember and say, well, yeah, so much things there. Wood Beast on YouTube, nice to have you here. Matthew Kelleher, hello there, nice to have you on board. And nice to have everybody here. Yeah, MDK2. Yeah, Catherine is missing, absolutely. So Wood Beast on YouTube, nice to have you here. It's kind of cool. Apart from that, what else do we have? Let me just go down because I stopped the chat, so sometimes I don't miss out on any. My Windows calendar said, "Oh yeah, Tim." No, it's not right, Tim. I actually had a ton of messages from people saying, "Hey, happy birthday," because they saw the birthday thing from Google. Because on your birthday, when your Gmail, Google puts your like a little Google with some candles, and basically it's not my birthday. I just lied on my. I just lied in my Gmail. Matthew says, my first tech show and you're not going to talk tech. I just got an HP Omen laptop. Time to learn Windows 10. Help. Well, you're at the right place, and we will do some for sure. We will do some for sure. I think you're gonna in the next few weeks, and of course we'll have the show coming back, and of course we're going to talk a few things that's going to happen, how things are going to go for the next few days. Also about an idea that I have that I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, and I want to ask you guys what you think. We'll see how it goes, and really nice to have you all on board. Ripple Pearls loves the sweater. This is a Christmas gift, by the way. It's a Tommy Hilfiger sweater. A beautiful Christmas gift that I got. And I do love it. It's a very beautiful t-shirt. So, Sean says, got hit by a huge snowstorm. So, we are having that pretty much today here. Pretty much. About a foot of snow here. So, yeah, it would have been nice if Viper or Tommy could make it today. Would have been nice. Absolutely. Ricardo Mota, nice to have you here. Going well here. Absolutely. The vaults. Let's go back. We can talk some tech potential topics. Blu-ray, key leak, FBI pushing for weak encryption, Microsoft's Q Sharp for the quantum computing, FCC always is a topic. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of stuff happening with that. It's just crazy. And but I did, talking about net neutrality, there's something that we don't think about, because we always think about one side of the metal, one side of everything that's happening. And one of the interesting things is there was a very interesting article, and I think it's on The Verge, and the title of the article is, "Oh, net neutrality, why are we going crazy over it? It's not going to change that much." And the article talks about how, and we got to agree also on that point of view. So the article says, look, net neutrality, The reason why Netflix and Google and Facebook, they all want to have it, is because they know that if it's not there, they will be required to pay more for the bandwidth that they use on the internet. And so I was thinking, yeah, that is true, that it's something that we have to think about. I mean, that's been a debate for a while, you know. YouTube is using a lot of bandwidth. Netflix is 33% of the bandwidth in a typical US evening. So that's a lot of bandwidth. So what he was saying is, no, net neutrality gone away means that the ISPs, rather than going to the customer and tell them you got to pay more, they're going to go to these big companies like Netflix and YouTube or Google, and they're going to say, well, you use a lot of traffic, so you need to pay us a fee for the access to the network. And it was like, okay, yeah, that you know, and it shows you that, okay, yeah, the real reason behind why some big companies don't want to have net neutrality is true. And one of the things he was saying that I'm not sure I agree totally, but anyways, he was saying, you know, the small player, the one that's doing a little something with his website, he's not the one that's going to have a problem, because the total amount of what he's sending out is so small compared to the big players. But I don't know, you know, I still am a, you know, I haven't changed my mind. I think that neutrality is something that's important to keep. What I'm mostly sad is to see how, you know, money from these ISPs and from companies have played a role there, and where basically the user isn't, you know, nobody's listening to you. So I'm coming down slowly. I'm a little back in the chat. Albert Zappa, have you ever got stage fright? Okay, for the live shows, no. Okay, not. Yeah, yes. Okay, let's face it. The first time ever that I did a live show, of course, I was nervous. I had never done that. People would watch. But it's something I think you get used to. So, you know, for me now, it's just, you know, my day-to-day life, getting live, and that's pretty much it. So for YouTube stuff, no. It's pretty much, you know, got a hang of it. And for, you know, and I'm a pretty social guy, so, you know, I go to karaoke, sing songs in front of crowds. Don't really have much. I had stage fright on one thing. I participated at a contest, a karaoke, I was singing contest. Now that, yes, I was more nervous. I guess when you, if you take the time to give me, you know, if I'm at a contest of some sort, things like that, maybe, you know. Yeah, HP with the keylogger and the Synaptics driver, which is kind of weird. What the hell is a keylogger doing in the Synaptics device driver? Anyways, if you got an HP machine, check for updates from HP. They are sending out updates for 460 computers, models, different models. Matthew Kelleher, the only issue I've had is that some of the HF mode software doesn't work. Doesn't seem to be compatible with Windows 10 now. DigTRX, the one I use by HM01, for example. Have you tried the compatibility mode? So when you right click on the icon, Matt, you can go to properties, and there you'll see compatibility. Go in compatibility and give it you know, compatibility with Windows 7, for example, and give it administrative mode, administrative rights. One of the major issues that some of the software, for example, I use Orbitron for the satellite tracking. If you don't give it administrative rights, it doesn't work. Why? Because it wants to write in a folder which is outside what Windows 10 wants you to do. So Windows 10 doesn't want you to write outside the regular folders like documents and so on. So by giving it administrative rights, you're giving it the right to basically, you know, write down whatever it wants, and then it actually works. So you try these things, but compatibility mode, and give it administrative rights. It might actually work. Because I have to say, of all the software I've tried on Windows 10, there isn't a lot that actually ain't compatible. Where's the cat? He's sleeping in the bedroom. He's extremely sad because he doesn't want to go outside because there's like wind and snow, and it's kind of cold. It's like -10. So Matt says we had early snow in October here in Denver, but nothing since. We're on the verge of breaking the record of snowless days following the first snow this season. Wow. And here we had a little bit of snow a couple of weeks back, but now it's like it's 2 storms that are actually gathering together. That's what we're getting, a lot of snow. We have one that I think is the one that you had there in that's moved over the Great Lakes, and I have and there's another one moving up the East Coast that apparently is going to give us more snow tonight, and much higher winds. We were about to have up to 90 kilometers an hour winds during the night and tomorrow. So basically, for the software, Windows 8 and Windows 10 are often very similar. So usually, pretty much everything on Windows, you know. Yeah, I don't know what to think totally about that. As Walt says, it's not just the bandwidth. You would have to pay as business just not to be discriminated against. So, you know, I don't know up to what point where we, you know, it is quite interesting when you think about it, though. You know, it's just crazy. And kind of nice. What else do we have here? Why I don't do a house tour? Would be a little complicated. I'd have to, like, you know, but I could, I suppose, do a video at some point. But there's nothing much to see except the rooms that I have. This is my office. For those that don't know, this is, well, the radios are here. This, of course, is my radio. For those that follow me on the radio channel, you're very familiar with this look, because this is my office. This is a radio side. I can show you guys a little bit of my office, but it's really hell right now. So don't look at all the stuff around it. But basically, if we look at the office, so of course this is outside and it's snowing. So there's my first desk that I had. This is my big desk with a computer there. This is the Dell computer that I always say is very old, that I'm about to change at some point. So this is my office desk. When I used to do a lot of tech duties, that was the main thing. That was the main place for me for many years. And then we have, of course, so sorry for the lighting here, but we have my Marshall amp with my Fender guitar, which is right there. And also all sorts of things. So there's all sorts of thing there, but I'm gonna move it the other way so you guys can see. So here's the radio desk with all this stuff, computers, radios, lots of stuff. And there's more radios, just moving that here. There's more radios over there in the shelf and all sorts of things here. So this is technically my office. It's really an office space for my It used to be my office space, and this used to be where I would fix computers. So that's why I have this table here. I used to fix computers in here, and there used to be desktops and laptops from different people. And now it's turned into a radio, you know, bonanza. And so that's pretty much the quick tour of what it looks like here. So, oh, that radio, Bobby, he's talking about, I got a new Grundig transistor 6001, which is an old Grundig 210 radio from 1969. It's 48 years old. And wow, it's I'm about to do my review in the next couple of days. I am really Fastload really made gave me a great Christmas gift with that. I can tell you, it's just amazing. Tim says, I'm still trying to sound natural in indie videos. A live show would be a wreck, although I did a couple of short ones on Facebook. Yeah, it's getting the hang of it. You should have seen, Tim. I can tell you one thing. I remember the first videos I've done. Boy, I would start over, 50 times until I got it right. I was always searching for my words. I was always kind of freezing somewhere. Just couldn't, It's like, oh man. But you know what? It's as time goes by, it gets natural, I think. So, I think it's all the times. Nils Pedersen says only sing in the shower. Yeah, actually, I like that. I think I have a side of myself that likes to be applauded or some. When I go to karaoke, sometimes we choose. Like me and Gabriel, my nephew Gabriel, we often, less now, but we often went to the karaoke. We would often choose nights when there's not a lot of people because you can sing more. But I like nights there's a lot of people also because, I sing like my greatest hits and people applaud me, and I kind of like that. I guess I'm kind of I don't know, I'm kind of a star. I like being a star, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's something I should have done. Oh, you got the same pirate flag, Ricardo Mota. Cool. Cool. And, so yeah, your videos anyways, Tim, are quite good. I looked at some of your videos. They're cool, man. Don't worry, you should not go crazy over that. So continue to work, man, Tim. I totally, in 2018. I think you totally should make more videos. And you know what, Tim? One thing I wanted to tell you is, and basically anyone out there, the interesting thing about YouTube is that making a living out of YouTube is difficult. Making a living out of YouTube is darn impossible. But you know what? Making a couple of $100 off of YouTube a month is not that difficult. But it requires commitment. It requires that you post all the time and that you keep your audience up and you build your audience slowly. And you know what? There's a friend of mine that was saying, oh well, I need to have the patience to do it, and I said you should. Even if it's just a couple of $100, it's still a couple of $100 that you get every month into your bank account, and you do whatever you want with it. I have a few YouTubers that we chat together regularly, and a lot of them are just at a couple of $100 a month. And they say, well, you know what, I have a full-time job, and that couple of $100 a month, well, it's cool because I use it to buy some stuff that I want. And it's like, yeah, you can think about it as extra cash, but making thousands of dollars is difficult. It's much more difficult. To reach the level where I am, it takes a lot of work, and I think to reach the level where I am is probably much more difficult today than it would be when I started, you know, in 2012, 2011. I can tell you that. But you know, I encourage everybody to do it. So what else do we have here? So what else do we have? Let me go down. If I miss a question or something, just ask it again, please. By the way, you know, I sometimes stay far from the chat itself. So, hey, Fastload, where's the grinding? It's in the kitchen, because when I cook, I listen to the grinding on shortwave. So it was here, and now it's in the kitchen. But eventually, it's gonna be. I want to take this and put it on top here, move this a little bit here, and I want to put the grinding here, or maybe move. Actually, I want to move this that side and put the grinding right here, and plain, perfect view. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Receiver. I'm amazed. And by the way, the fine tuning actually works. You need to know how to use it. It only works on shortwave 1. But the fine tuning that didn't seem to do anything the other day, Fastload, actually does something. And I will be talking about it in my review coming up in the next few days. So, Tim says, no shame there. My desk looks like World War III. Same here, and I mean, it's I need to clean it up. You know, the worst about it, it's that when you actually clean up, and everybody probably feels the same, when we clean up and everything's nice and beautiful, honestly, we all feel good. We all feel that, wow, it's nice to see, you know, but eventually it piles up and you're just tons and tons of, you know. Russell Reynolds, nice to have you here. What's my radio channel? It's a channel about shortwave, and thanks, Tim, for sharing. There's a channel about shortwave, another one about VHF, UHF, and yeah, I keep old stuff. I keep a lot of old tech. I keep a lot of old tech around. You know, and you guys can't see it here because there's like tons of things over it. But over there where my guitar and my Marshall amp is, I have a Commodore 128, a Atari 1040 ST, and Amiga 500 that are over there under the pile of rubble. So, you know. No, I can't, Great Paul Pearls, unfortunately. I would have loved for him to come over. But he's working and is going to arrive late. Too late. The show's going to be over by the time he's going to get here. Hey, Matthew says, sorry for late, caught up anyway. I did try compatibility settings, but I don't think I did the admin mode. I'll try that. Yeah, try the admin mode. And you know what? I'll try the software here. And if I find a way to have it working, can you send me, Matthew, can you send me an email and tell me what software you are using that doesn't work? So like that, I'm going to be able to help you out. Neil says Joe is a real pro now in live shows. Yeah, well, you know, it's one of those things where I think you get the hang of it. And I'm a blabbermouth. I always tell everybody I talk, and you know, one of the things that's probably the most difficult when you are in a live show like this is, of course, you got to talk all the time. So you can't stop talking. And let's remove that 100 here and put that little wallpaper, Christmas wallpaper. There we go. Let's put the Merry Christmas wallpaper here. I don't know if you guys see it well, but yeah, it looks nice. So anyways, I'm a blabbermouth. I talk all the time, so I have no problems with that. And I think, of course, being relaxed helps a lot. So yeah, the Fender Stratocaster. I had that for a long time, and it's a shame because I don't play enough. I should play. I can tell you that. It's just crazy. Tim says we should all record a personal hello video to Gel or someone on the channel and stitch it. Oh man, that'd be beautiful. You know, I've had. I think Fastlow gave me probably what I will be the best Christmas gift I will have this year, which is that Grundig receiver. Last year I had Conicom that actually gave me a shortwave portable. So really nice. What else do we have? What are the best apps for Android? You know what? That's a tough question because it really depends totally on what you do with your device, basically. You know. Niels Pedersen says the radios only work at Jill's place. By the way, it appeared to patch Tuesday, and it took me a little bit of time this time. I don't know why it never happened before. I guess there was nothing, probably was to my PC. It didn't take a lot of time for me. The download, of course, stuck at some percentage for a while, but the update itself actually went quite well. So I was waiting because I could have posted the Patch Tuesday update video before the live show. The thing is, the Patch Tuesday update video, I always wait because I have a few blogs that I can see if people have troubles with it. And of course, Microsoft having a history of Patch Tuesday update problems, I always wait a little bit to see if there's a higher volume of problems than usual before I post my video. Yeah, that is something, absolutely, Albert Zappa. You know what? The reason why you can't find anything, I have one bad habit when I clean up. I'm the guy that cleaning up, I don't have the patience for it. So after I clean up for a while, I get tired, and I start taking a box and just putting everything in a box. And I say, okay, that's the box with everything else. So when I get to use something and I don't see it, I'm like, oh, it must be inside the box that has everything in it. But the box has so many things in it that just like, I'm not gonna go in there. I remember, going to a store buying screwdrivers because I had tons of screwdrivers laying, all around here, and I had put them in a box, and it was so like the screwdrivers were at the bottom of the box, and I just didn't want to like take everything out. I went to the store to buy a new screwdriver, so it gives you guys an idea sometimes how lazy I am. Matthew, the Grundig is a Grundig satellite transistor 6001. It's also known as the Grundig Satellite 210. It's a 1969 portable, and it is beautiful. And I can tell you, it is the most amazing portable radio I have ever seen in almost every respect. And as of yet, I'd say that since for the sensitivity, except for the really best portables that we have today, it's up to par with today's radios. Of course, it's not like the ICOM. My ICOM beats it. But if you take I don't know, like the Texan PL 680, like this, for sensitivity, that thing is as good. It's just that this has a digital display. But even that, they have so many options on that radio. And anyways, I don't want to waste too much time on that here because we're in a tech channel, not a radio channel. So, well, thanks, Tim, for that. And your package should arrive at some point. So, hope you find it interesting what's in there. A little something. Oh, man. But, you know. Yes, I will tell him that Patriots lost. Patriots lost. He knows. He knows. Pretty sure. Shell needs to play the guitar for 100, so. Well, unfortunately, it's not. It'd be too complicated to plug in everything. Okay. But I really need to play a little something for you guys. Absolutely. So yeah, later. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about yeah, cool tech. I kind of agree a little bit that the updates for Windows 10 should be yearly. I think 6 months is asking a lot. So it is gorgeous. It is an amazing, beautiful radio. It's so heavy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just so heavy. So what else do we have here? What else do we have here? Last Christmas from Wham. Man, that brings back memories. Wham. I was what, 14 years old when Wham started with "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go." Oh man. I'm a very old school Christmas music guy. Okay, my mom would listen to old stuff from, you know, Frank Sinatra, from what was it, Andy Williams, and Johnny Mattis, Doris Day. So I don't know if it's because it reminds me of my childhood, but I tend to like to listen to these old songs from the 50s and 60s, the Christmas albums. Nat King Cole. I think the Christmas song from Nat King Cole is probably one of the most beautiful. Oh yeah, Perry Como. Oh man, I have the Perry Como 4-track cassette here that I think I played last year. So Bing Crosby, Bing Crosby's White Christmas. Yeah, Gene Autry's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is great. And Nat King Cole's Christmas song. These are just fantastic. And I mean, on a day like today, next to the Christmas tree, a little beer, a little alcohol. I put these songs, and you guys are going to find me really old school here. But what I like to do is I will put on these songs an evening, have a couple of beers, and on the 50-inch TV, I put a YouTube, like fireplace video that lasts hours. And, especially when it's snowing like this, and I just sit next to the window and look outside at the snow falling, the Christmas tree. I kind of, I'm nuts for that type of little moment, just relaxed. And, thinking of the Christmas memories when you were young, the nice Christmas memories. I have a lot of Christmas memories, but there's, coming from a family that's a little complex. They're not all beautiful, but, I kind of hang to the beautiful memories, But these are great. Yeah, Blue Christmas from, that's Elvis, right? These are great. These are great. So I'm an old school guy for Christmas stuff. I want to talk a little bit about what we are about to have in our Futures of Life shows, if you guys don't mind. So, of course, today is the 100th show, relaxed show, nothing special. Having fun, just, enjoying time with you guys. Alvin and the Chipmunks. Yeah, that one's also, that's a classic also. So, next week, show 101, it's going to be a year review, a year-end review. So next week I will have a selection of the news that made tech in 2017, and we're going to talk about it together. So that's what's going to come next week, and it's going to be very Christmassy. So I don't know if he's going to be there, but I did invite Santa to come over, but I don't know if I've been a good boy enough to see if Santa is going to make it next week. But if he did, if I'm a good enough guy, maybe Santa's going to be here next week to talk about tech. And so it's going to be very Christmassy next week. And we're going to have the year-end review, and next week I'm having a bottle of wine. So next week I'm going to get kind of a little drunk. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's going to be next week, year-end review, show 101. And then, okay, here's how things are happening because of the dates. I was looking at how Christmas falls this year. So this show being on Tuesday, that's a great possibility, Vols, that we'll get a drunk Santa like last year next week. And I'll get some mom somewhere that's going to show Santa to her kids, and they're going to say, hey, you shouldn't get drunk, or you shouldn't drink wine. Santa doesn't drink wine. So, anyways, so this being on a Tuesday, the next 2 Tuesdays after next week are going to be December 26th and January 2nd. It means we're going to be 2 weeks off for this show because of that. I don't want to do a show on the 26th. I want to take it easy. I don't want to do a show right in the, do a show on the January 2nd, the day after New Year's. I'll probably still, anyways, on January 2nd, I'll probably still be actually, trying to get back on my feet from my New Year's, drinking with my brother, which is always something pretty crazy. No, Vault, Santa is actually more of a vodka guy. Absolutely. Grey Goose vodka is kind of, that could also be, if it's not wine next week, it could actually be vodka and, some kind of vodka drink also. But Santa is more a vodka guy than a whiskey guy. So for the shows, the tech shows, okay, this week we'll have our shows. Next week we'll have our live show on the 26th, the 19th. And then we'll have on Thursday the 21st our last Windows Insider of the year. That one will also be kind of a look back at what we had this year as builds, and as in 2017 we had 2 versions of Windows, Creators Update, Fall Creators Update. So that also will be a look back at the what was happening during the year for insiders. As for the rest, we'll be back with our live shows on the week of January the 9th. So Tuesday, January 9th, we will be back with the tech show. Another thing that I need to talk about here is the I am thinking of, so this is in the spirit of having as many days as possible without live shows in case something happens. I am thinking of actually pushing the Insider Hour back to Tuesday after the live tech show. So I don't know what you guys think. Do you guys prefer that I keep it on Thursdays? Or if for you guys it's okay if I take the Windows Insider Hour and put it back after the tech show of Tuesday. So that means I would come back on Tuesdays with the tech show at 3 p.m. Eastern, 20 UT, and then the Insider Hour at 6 p.m. 2300 UT. I know for you guys in Europe it's very late. And you guys are going to pretty much decide. If you guys rather that I keep it like it is, I will. But the idea behind it is if I do both shows on the same day, for me, what it does is it keeps me one day with, you know, no live shows on Thursdays, which I kind of like. So I don't know. Wednesdays is a little complicated for me to do that. Unfortunately, it's very difficult for me. I have too many things on Wednesdays and too many possibilities of things that happen that you know. So if for a lot of people, you know, Neil says it better like you have now Insider Show on Thursday. You know, I know for you guys in Europe, like, you know, Neil's, for example, I know that if I put the show there at, you know, after, it's very late in Europe, for sure. So unless I could, what about if I change the time? What about if I do the tech show at 2 p.m. 1900 UT and push towards a and compress it? So basically have a live show for the tech show at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1900 UT, and push towards the next Insider Show at 4 p.m. 2100 hours UT. Could that be a possibility also? Would you guys like that better? So we take the live tech show, we put it an hour earlier, 2 p.m. Eastern, 19 UT, and we put the Insider Hour as early as I can, like, you know, 2100 UT. So it's not too late for Europe still. So that could be a possibility also. It's, you know, it depends on a lot of factors. So 1 p.m. is a little hard, but I could try to see if I can do it. But 1 p.m. would be a little hard. So what I would do is, you know, like do the, for example, the tech show at 2 p.m. up to 3:30. We'd have 30 minutes where I would have that 30 minutes to rewire everything for the Insider Show, and then we'd go for the Insider Show. So you know, that could be a possibility, because I'd like to have one more day free of a live show, so I'd have more time for whatever I need to do. Because it's all in the aspect of basically just trying to get as much time to myself as I can. That's mostly what I'm trying to do. So that could be, you know. So Niels likes Thursdays. Okay. You know, I want to try to please, you know, as many people as possible, and not try to get, you know, people out also, because that's one of the aspects that I try. So you know, the majority, but there's Niels that, you know, likes the fact that Thursday we have the Insider Show. Albert says, that's good, I can drink at any time. Okay. Hey, Jacqueline Red, nice to have you here. You can't hear me. That's weird. You need to check your volumes. So yeah, okay. I'll think about it seriously, and I'll announce it on the first week of January. Okay, whatever schedule I decide. Also, I'm going to do it again. I haven't done it for 2 months, and a lot of people actually liked the fact that I was posting a video of all my live shows from my different channels. I had a few people saying, hey, I miss out on that video that you post at the beginning of the month, giving the details of what date and time we have the different live shows for the radio stuff and the tech stuff and everything. So early January, I will be posting every month on the first of the month. Yeah, I know, Valtz. I was actually thinking the same thing as I was saying. She can't hear me say, play with the volumes. Well, you never know, Valtz. Maybe she helps, you know, deaf people, and she knows she can read lips. You don't know. Man. But I was thinking, absolutely thinking the same thing, Valtz, as I was saying it. Oh, God. Yeah, it's just that Cool Tech, I want to keep the insider stuff on the insider channel and not put it on the main Windows channel. That's why I want to, you know. Yeah, Niels, I just don't want to, you know, miss out on anyone. So I'm going to think about it. I'm going to think about it. Use sign language. I don't know sign language. What am I supposed to do? Turn up the volume? Turn up the volume. Okay. I hope she gets her sound fixed. Change browser. I lost what I wanted to say now with this joke. Okay. So, anyways, I'll think about it. I will think about it. Some people on Vortenfeld channel, they're cyberbullying me. Cyberbullying is just, you know, a plague. You know, just look at the amount of, you know, you know, shit that we have on my different live shows. You know, when you look at the different, people that just try to troll, you know, it's just crazy. But you know, that's what I hate. You know, what I hate with the hey Bobby, no, not yet. There's something weird, and I can't have it working. I'm going crazy. But anyways, and I'm gonna change equipment very soon. Hopefully by the end of January, Bobby, I'm gonna have a new PC and also new equipment. I'm gonna buy like everything together, a big package. It's gonna cost me like a gazillion dollars, but I'll be set up for a while. So, anyways, you know, the problem with the internet is the fact that people feel safe. You know, the same cyberbullying people would not tell you in your face what they want to say, because they would be scared that you're gonna just punch them in the face. But here, they do it because they kind of have that security of, well, I'm somewhere else, and he doesn't know who I am, and, you know, I can just go crazy. And I read a very interesting article. I think it was on Ars Technica, and it was a series, actually a series of articles, where they were talking about how the internet has kind of turned some people that usually would not be cyber bullies into cyber bullies, because suddenly they know that there's the anonymous side where you don't know who you are and where you are and all of that. And you know, the funniest thing, you know what, is that there are a couple of cyber bullies that actually go to there's a few cyber bullies that that actually come to the channel, and by the text and the way that things are written, they actually don't know that I have a pretty good idea who they are. And not just me, because some of the cyber bullies that actually come to the channels here and the radio ones, they do also the same thing at similar channels in which we are in contact. And sometimes I get one YouTuber saying, hey, you get that cyber bully that, you know, that said this or that, and we share the text. And it's funny because just looking at the text, the way it's written, I can tell you, just the way it's written, you kind of recognize some people that, and sometimes they just look, you know, they're going to make comments, and they're going to be in the beautiful, you know, oh, I'm your friend and I'm nice and I'm, you know. But when you look at the text, it's like, okay, that's that guy that thinks he can, you know, troll, and thinks we don't know it's him or her, you know. I just want to say to any cyber bullies, we're not stupid, and we know a lot more than you think. And the way that sentences are written, the way that things are showing up, man, we have a lot of ideas of who could be behind it. But you know, so will you start video editing at any time soon, or will you like? I'm the kind of guy that's just like, let's go with the flow. I don't like, you know, like doing a video and editing and putting things together, and I'm not much of a guy like that. I would for another reason. If I do a if I do a cooking channel, yeah, editing everything so that the cooking channel video, you know. But for things like news or whatever, nah. It's my thing, the way I do it. You know, not everybody likes it, but it's the way I do it. You know. In 2018, so also, and somebody actually asked me, because last year, if you guys remember, at this same time, I was telling everybody that, you know, 2017 was the make or break year. I decided to continue doing this or not. And of course, we're at 2018 almost, a couple of weeks from now. 2018, incredible. I mean, I have the impression that I did this not a long time ago, you know. So we're at 2018, and you know, somebody sent me an email and said, you know what, for that show, you know, I was thinking of you, Fastload, before I continue with this, because I still have the oil there. And I have the urge of making donuts again for the last time before I throw away the oil. But now that you told me that you really want donuts, I feel guilty if I do donuts and you're not there, because you gave me a grinding radio, and now I just can't make donuts if I can't give you some donuts. So I was thinking maybe, because you'll be here at Christmas Eve, that the day before, I'll make donuts and I'll give you like a dozen donuts on Christmas Eve or something. So anyways, to continue with what I was saying, okay, AdSense has been surprising in the past 3 months. Okay, I will have the best December since December 2015. Okay, the last time December paid as much was December 2015. And I can tell you one thing, it's kind of keeping my spirits up a little bit, because I'm thinking, as YouTube finally turned around in monetization, does it have to do with the 6-second ads? What is actually changing? One of the interesting aspects, and that was something that I had not really taken care of a lot. So, for those that are YouTubers, a lot of people complained last week where the monetization, the real-time monetization metrics were not showing on AdSense. And they came back 2 days later, and I think they came back because a lot of people complained. But today, on top of AdSense, the first thing below the line of monetization stuff, there's a little something that says early 2018 YouTube metrics will not be in AdSense anymore, and I knew that was coming. So they're asking us to look into YouTube analytics instead for revenue, which is so bad compared to what AdSense is offering. But anyways, we'll have to use that. But there's one thing that it actually made me realize, because we have something called CPM, or it's kind of an average of how much money per 1,000 views you make. And I started going through, because last week when I thought maybe the analytics are not in AdSense anymore, I started going through my YouTube channels and realize which channels actually pay better than others. Because on YouTube, one of the things that you got to understand, the subject you are talking about is very important on monetization. So for example, to make the highest monetization, start a channel in everything that is health food stuff. If you make a channel with health food, vitamins, stuff like that, it's the highest paying content on YouTube. So hint, hint, anyone that wants to start one of those things. And it typically can give you a CPM or a cost, a click per 1,000, as high as like $15, $20 per 1,000 views. And of course, there's the low end where there's some stuff that pays 25 cents per 1,000 views. And I started looking at what I do and what's the paid content and what is the paid, what's the amounts per 1,000. And actually I like the fact that it happened, because it forced me to look at statistics that I was not really taking a lot of time, or I didn't really take the time to look at seriously. What I noticed is, for example, the tech stuff is actually quite interesting in monetization. Not the best. I mean, there's better than that, but not too bad. My shortwave stuff is amazing. I not realized how high the CPM cost was on my shortwave channel, which is amazing. So I started looking at the content and what's being paid on the content, which is giving me an idea of, kind of positioning myself differently also. But the AdSense and the monetization being what it is, okay, January is the big month where you got an idea of how crappy the year is going to be. And, you're always scared. Any YouTuber will tell you, I'm scared of January. And why? Because January, every company, every business, they spend 80% of their ad money at Christmas. That's where you're going to get the people to buy your stuff. So December is always the best monetization month ever, all the time. It's always been like that. I've been a YouTuber for since 2011, and all I can say is since 2011, December's always been the best monetization. Now, what's interesting is that the monetization in 2015, December 2015, was the highest I've ever had in my life. And it started dropping pretty much every month. Last year, December was rather crappy, but still the best month of 2016. And this year, if it wasn't for the fact that the first 6 months of 2017 were the worst AdSense ever, I would actually have not bad of a year, because especially starting in September, AdSense moved up quite a lot. And I will have a December this year very close, not up to par, but very close to my best AdSense that was December 2015. So it's kind of giving me an idea that, okay, if it's moving that well, maybe January, which will be lower, and that I'm sure it will be lower, it's the way it works, maybe it won't be as low as January of 2017 or 2016. Maybe we're going to start off the year better off than it was in the past, and I'm hoping for that. You know, I am hoping to see good numbers for the first couple of weeks of January 2018. So, to come up with what I was talking about, I said 2017 is a make or break here. Well, as the situation unfolds right now, it's actually giving me a good run for 2018. And to give you guys an idea of how good a run it could be if it would maintain itself at least this level, don't be surprised if at some point in 2018 you suddenly see I don't ask for donations. It doesn't mean if you want to give me something, don't do it. I mean, some people are very generous. I got a few donators that told me I'm going to give you something as long as you do this, which is very welcome. I've been thinking of maybe channeling the donations into something different also, using it for other things than whatever I need to buy here. But still, we're not there yet, but we're if I would have a 2018 as good or better than now, I mean, wow, I think that would be pretty cool. That would be cool. So it's kind of interesting to see. Yes, I didn't miss the jokes. I'm not in that talking about it, but I will go back in the chat later to take it off, to check it off. Now, how to cook on the Muppets. Cooltech says, I have an old computer with 3.2 gigabytes of RAM and Intel Pentium G processor. Can I start YouTube with editing on that PC? It's going to be... It's just that the editing is going to take a long time. But yes, you can. It's really when you start fiddling around with videos and edit the videos, that's the biggest problem, I can say. So, yes, 35. Okay, it's gonna in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna do that video. I'm getting to 14 million views. We're almost at 14 million views and 35,000 subscribers here. Woohoo! That's a cool number. I mean, 35,000 subs, 14 million views. It's still a small channel by the aspect, but it's getting there. Boss says, for sometimes having no fancy editing does not work, like that browser comparison video. Yeah, it's not always. Yeah, it's not always. You know, the best thing. I totally agree with that. But you know, bad boy shell. Oh man, oh man, Frosty the pervert. Every year I sing a every year I sing a Christmas song, which is a really a kind of adult Christmas song at the karaoke, and the boss there goes crazy like, "No man, don't sing that." Bobby, is that Farron OS right here? No, this is it was the computer with Farron OS, yes, but this right now is Elementary OS. So this is a Linux distro that's based on Ubuntu. It's Elementary OS on right now, because I'm playing around with all of that. But I will go back to Farron OS on this, because it's really my favorite distro right now. Healthy Live Tech Show. Okay, I will show you today how to format your computer with Windows 10, and while we do that, let's make a green salad that you can eat while you look at the progression bar in Windows. I'm not actually baking Christmas goodies with gel. Now that would be a good show. Yeah, that would be probably. You know, I need to do that. I am thinking of adding a YouTube channel of some kind. And the interesting part here is that you know, I could do something like that. I don't know. Am I going to buy my PC after Christmas sales? Well, I'm waiting after Christmas. Are the PCs going to be less expensive? I don't know. If they are, thank you. But I did start looking around, and I mean, the laptop that I'm going to buy is going to cost me about $1,500. I can't really find anything below $1,500 that has the requirements that I want. So we'll see anyways, because if in January I can find it, you know, at a less expensive, you know. So well, one thing for sure, Nils, if I go to Sweden, I really need to we need to meet, that's for sure. Oh, the article comes from Tech Republic, Grapple Pearls. You have to go on Tech Republic. That's where that that guy was actually. I think they're actually saying that, you know, Microsoft needs to stop bullying everybody around. Absolutely cool tech. You can do YouTube with just a phone if you want. You know what? Actually, I've uploaded a series of videos using my Android phone many times, and actually the YouTube uploading has a lot of editing possible within the phone. And you know what? I'm sure if your camera is good and the videos you make are good, I'm sure some YouTubers probably do it only with their phones. You know what? I have a Sony HD cam here, and lately I've been almost not using it. I've been doing the videos with this because it's as good a camera as my Sony HD cam. Fastload Donuts. You're not working today, Fastload, or you're from work? I guess you didn't go to work because of the bad weather. Could that be possible? Yeah, it is, absolutely. Yeah, keywords healthy organic, absolutely would be on YouTube. Do a channel on healthy organic, you're gonna get $20 per 1,000 views of ads, because you'll get the highest paying ads of all. What's this here in my cookie? So you know, you know, I would guess like, you know, $1,500 is the minimum. What else do we have here? Oh, I like that, Nils Pedersen. Actually, I would love to visit Sweden, Norway, Finland. I'd love to go into. I would love to go. You know, through different European countries, and of course, if I would go there, I'd like to meet some of you. Absolutely, that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, you gotta try to you know, one of the biggest problems I think for anybody that makes videos with a camera is the fact that they don't realize that when you move like this, you're moving way too fast. You're giving everybody nausea. And so you gotta really understand you gotta move, and you gotta really hold it steady. You know, I was looking at the videos that I made with satellite listening on this yesterday, and you gotta, you know, I was thinking of actually using something to hold the phone steady, because you can't hold it in your hand. It always moves around, and every time I do a video, you know, I will put my arm on something to make sure that it's as stable as possible. But you get to see that it still moves a little bit, you know. So I was thinking of getting a little stand where I could put the phone on that doesn't move at all when I do something, because I mean, this is really good. Really good. So Douglas Elliott says, I used Jing screen recorder and uploaded direct to YouTube. So you see, pretty cool. And I still have one, Tim. I have an old Handycam with these little cassettes. What is Super 8? Is that the cassettes you're using? I think it's called Super 8, something like that. I still have an old 80s Sony Handycam with Super 8 cassettes. But I have a more modern, you know, HD cam that I purchased 5 years ago. Actually, when I started doing YouTube, the first thing that I did was purchase an HD camera, because the first thing that I taught is that, you know, when you look at, and today I'm still annoyed. Today, you know, when I go on my HD TV and I watch a YouTube video that doesn't fit the screen because it's not 1080p or 720, I am annoyed. I want it to fill the screen. So the first thing that I thought when I started making videos is I need an HD camera. I need a camera that can do 1080p. It's a must. And 5 years ago, I invested in a Sony camera that made 1080p HD for the radio channel, because that was the first channel I created. I wanted to do radio channels and radio videos that were 1080p. And of course, as time goes, everything changes. I mean, the Galaxy S7 camera is capable of as good, if not better, 1080p than my Sony Handycam. And you know, you start getting used to, like, well, I don't have my Sony Handycam all the time, but I've got this all the time with me, so I can do YouTube videos anywhere I want with this, basically. And you can upload them directly. It's just crazy. Yeah, a lot of people use GoPros, absolutely. Yeah, it's an S7 Cooltech. This is the Galaxy S7 phone. It's inside a case, but I gotta say, you know what? It's the first time I moved away from iPhone, and this thing made me realize I'm never going back to an iPhone ever. This thing is an amazing phone. It's a beautiful phone also, and it's an amazing device. I can tell you that. So, yeah, sound is important also. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of things. That's absolutely a lot of things. You know, there's everything is. You know, yeah, you can shoot 4K on an S7, but I keep it to 1080. But yes, you can shoot 4K on an S7. Absolutely. I would be able to upload 4K videos if I wanted. YouTube has 4K content. I could actually be one of the first to upload 4K videos with the S7. Absolutely. My Sony one uses the one that I have, the Handycam, uses SD cards. I got a 64 gigabyte SD card in it. I actually purchased two 64 gigabytes SD cards when I purchased the camera, because I thought if I make videos outside of my home, I need to be able to have a lot of videos that I can take without thinking of, you know, I have no more space. Well, you know what, Tim? The S7 is great. You know what? I'm coming to the end of my contract, and in 3 months, I'll be able to change phone if I wish. And you know what? I have no desires to move away. I have no desires to get another one. I am extremely happy with this S7. And I'm thinking, well, why should I, you know, why should I get anything else? It works so well. And I love my phone. I love this phone. The camera is an amazing camera. I mean, I had a 12 megapixel camera. You know, the point and shoot cameras. And when my sister came over the other day and said, "Hey, want to have a do you want to have a camera?" And she said, "What? Oh yeah, digital camera? Yeah, 12 megapixels." And she said, "Don't use it?" No, because camera stays at home, and you bring it with you when you think you're going to take pictures. This thing takes pictures that are as beautiful as the camera. And this I got with myself all the time. I don't need a camera. We got a camera in here. And these are now so good. I don't even see why we should buy a digital camera of any kind. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. But S7 is great. You know, I know I'll be tempted. You know, in 3 months I'm going to be out of contract, and in 3 months they're going to, like, you know, put that Galaxy S9 out, and I want to say, I want to have that phone, because I'm a sucker for that. And I know I'm going to get the S9, or I'm going to get one of the latest models, because, you know, I'm going to pay that $300-400 price to get it and get another contract. That's, you know, but I kind of work in it, so I kind of want it also. But I got to say, the S7 is amazing. Rebel Pearl says, got an email yesterday that she can upgrade her S7 Edge, but thinks she's going to keep it for a while. Maybe skip the 9 and wait for the 10. You know, I mean, let's face it. This thing is so powerful right now that even after 2 years, it's going to be 2 years and 3 months I have this. It doesn't feel like an old phone. It doesn't feel sluggish. It's not slow when I want to do things. It works really, really well. Fingerprint sensor is great. I can do anything I want. There's nothing I cannot do. And it's just a darn good phone. And there's nothing that's really pushing me to change it. You know, when I had the iPhone has that feel. When the iPhone gets the new iOS upgrades all the time, and you see that all the new things that you can do, the iPhone gives you that rush of every 2 years, oh well, I need the new iPhone, this one's getting slow. And you see the other phone, it's like, oh, that's so fast. But this thing, when I compare it to everybody around me, is as fast as everybody around me. Okay, I got to say that half of the people around me got crappy phones, but still, I shouldn't have said that, but it's kind of true. Anybody that I've seen around me with their phones, this thing is, the only thing I miss, I should have gotten, I should have gotten the Edge. I should have gotten the one because it's a little bigger. And I got to say, the big phones, I like the big phones. So I would change probably because I would want to have a bigger phone. More than anything else. Because for the rest, this thing, still really, really good. And now here in Canada, which is really amazing and really fun, is all the phones that are going to be sold on January 1st, after January 1st, have to be unlocked. No companies can lock your phone anymore in Canada, and that I love. So, yeah, cool tech, 8K, what, yes and no. I mean, if you're in, you gotta go, with the flow, but, yeah. I'm not even at 4K yet, so, they all have the best phone of the year as Cool Tech. Really nice to have you here. Hey, Merry Christmas, Jacqueline Red. We'll be here next week, eh? By the way, we're going to have a year-end review of the tech next week. So, and we might have Santa over. Always fun to have everybody here. That's really, 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 really cool. Are new phones more secure? Nope. New phones are not more secure than older phones. It all has to do with what you do and if you keep your operating system up to date, basically. Yes, Vaslo's size matters in so many ways. Oh, God. That's the beer talking. Size matters in so many ways. But unless you got an older phone that can't upgrade its Android version anymore or iOS anymore, new phones are not safer than older phones. That is not at all the case. And it's funny how they, Ripple Pearl says, I've heard the specs for Galaxy S9 are going to be very close to S7, but I've heard that many changes with the 10. We'll see. Well, I'll see as time goes by. The only thing I hate, and I have to say what I hate the most about the Samsung phones, is the fact that you got to wait an enormous amount of time to get that darn Android upgrade. I am the kind of guy that wants to have the latest Android right now. Not in 6 months. So, one of the things that I was thinking, but I am not going to do because there's too many problems with it. The Google Pixel phones. I was thinking maybe get a Pixel. I'll have the updates when they are ready. But man, they have so many problems with the Pixel 2. So many problems. I don't want to have one. There's like, what? I mean, they have too many problems. So many problems. Yeah, absolutely. I do understand, Gripple Pearls, but I kind of want to have a bigger phone. I want to have a bigger phone. You know, if they made a 10-inch phone. Yes, hi. I want to order pizza, please. Oh my God, Alex Tuttle, nice to have you on board. Nice to have you on board. They have a lot of problems with the Pixel 2. Too many problems, Coltech. They have a lot of issues, a lot of problems are complaining, and I don't know. Oh, I didn't read about that. That's interesting. Where did you read about it, Vaults? The throttling of Apple phones as the battery deteriorates. You know what? I got an iPhone 5 here. And it's been lying around here doing nothing for a long time. And 2 weeks ago I plugged it to charge it because I wanted to try something with the AirCast device that I've got to try to cast the screen of the iPhone 5. And I don't know if it's me. Yeah, I can't really say anything, is it me or not, because it could just be slow. But when I got the iPhone 5, I thought it was fast. It was a really fast device. But, you know, of course, the iPhone 5 is old. I mean, it's really old. But the first thing that came to mind is how amazingly slow my iPhone 5 was when I wanted to do something. And I was like, man, this thing is so damn crazy slow. And I was surprised. It didn't seem like that when I got it. You know, even when I went from iPhone 5 to my Galaxy S7, the iPhone 5 didn't seem that slow. And now I look at it and it's like, man, this is slow. Of course, the first thing I did notice is how small it is on the screen when I compared to my Galaxy S7. But darn, I found it slow. And I was surprised at how slow I did find it. So you think that as the battery drains, so it has less energy, they throttle down the speed of the phone to extend the battery life? Is that what you're kind of saying? Huh. That's kind of crazy. That's a little compensating for something. Oh, you got a new phone Monday. What are you getting, Alex Tuttle? What phone are you getting on Monday? That's always fun. Yeah, there are two things that are making the Android phones difficult. There's the company. So of course, new Android version. Samsung's got it tested on its devices to make sure that it doesn't crash and has no issues. Then you got the carriers. They got to push it, because the carriers, they're the second line of defense. When people get that new update and don't understand anything, the carriers get the calls. So it's like two steps. It makes it really slow. Today in the news bulletin that I did, I was telling everybody how Android 8 Oreo, 0.5% of phones got it after 4 months. You know, that's really kind of slow. Google alleged throttling old phones battery controversy. Okay. I don't know, so I'm not going to say anything about it. Would I be surprised? No. You know, we got to understand the thing. So, my phone, this is a two-year phone now. 2 years of charging and, you know, using it and charging and using it. Everybody understands one thing. This phone's battery, after 2 years, is not the battery that was when I bought it. That battery has depleted. There was an app that I installed once that I need to reinstall that told me something like my battery's capacity was now 81% of the capacity it had when it was new 2 years ago. 81% means there's almost 20% of the battery that's gone. So 1/5 of that time that I had back then is gone. Now it still doesn't show that much, but then again, I can't really talk because I bring this with me all the time, which is a 10 milliamp hour rechargeable with solar panel and everything that I love because it has standard USB ports, so you can actually power anything. I power the Fedri SDR with this because it's a battery, so it doesn't interfere. It's not like a power supply or a switching power supply. So I can't really talk because when the battery drains, I've got this in my pocket, in my jacket. So I just bring it out, plug the phone. I kind of don't see it much, but there would be sense in thinking that when they see the battery drain at a certain level, they'll throttle down the speed so that the phone actually takes less power, but at the same time it's going to make it slower. Huh. Now you got me thinking there, Volts. I don't know. What do you think about it, Fastload? Fastload is somebody that might think about that also. What do you think about that? I don't know. Huh. Yeah, Google, Gripple Pearl, Samsung has tons of crappy apps on it. There are a few things that are okay. I mean, on the Galaxy S7, the health app is actually nice. It's really, really nice. The health and, how do they call it? Health and, it's Samsung Health, something like that. There you go, Samsung. Because there's tons of things here. There's Samsung Gear, Samsung's G Flow, Samsung G Connect, S Voice, Samsung Voice, Samsung Health. The Samsung Health is actually quite interesting. It has all the details of you walking around. It has the details. You can actually measure your heart rate. You can even measure the oxygen level in your blood. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of apps from Samsung that upgrade all the time on this thing. Absolutely. Gripple Pearls. So, Okay, Anthony DK, what happened to your other channel, official Windows channel? What did why did you change your name to? Yeah, well, you know what? It all has to do with the fact that some people don't like the name of the other channel. The fact that that official, I was blamed for. They were saying that I was trying to say that I was somebody else and I was not, which was not the case, because at every videos or almost I was always saying I'm not the official thing. But it goes up to when you don't have the cash to get a lawyer and defend yourself, you just let it go. If I made millions of dollars of that channel, I would have battled all the way to the end. It didn't make enough money to really be worth keeping. It's just sad, but it's gone. So I strategically changed the name here so that it would not, I would not have the same type of claim from anyone. And the funniest thing is that the claims are from the same company that I work for, which means, the company that I am working for right now is the asshole behind closing the other channel. Anyways, enough said. Enough said. Hey, let's make a tour here. Why not everybody share the phone you got? What smartphone do you guys have? So Grapple Pearls has the 7 Edge. Sean Robinson, Samsung Galaxy J3. Nice phone. It was a great phone. What else do we have? Let me check that out. The app for the battery was, I removed it, so that's why I don't remember what's the name. Battery. Yep. I believe it was Accu Battery. Yeah, Accu Battery by Digibytes. It monitors and optimizes, but that I don't really care. But it will tell you kind of where your battery is at in its life cycle. It even tells you how many cycles you did of discharge, recharge, because all of that is in the chip in the battery on the S7. So yeah, cool tech. You know, that's the problem. Oh really, you replace the battery and still doesn't take a charge? Maybe it's the chip, the charging chip, that's the problem. Yeah. I haven't done anything yet, Vaults. So, you know, and like I was saying, I love this phone so much that for now I don't feel the need for a new phone. So, you know, we'll go to the flow actually. Alex says, all the problems that you had with the LG G6 with software problems, I had the phone last year, like less than 1 year. Okay, so you're getting the S8. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Too many crappy apps on the Samsung stuff, I can tell you that. Too many crappy apps. I hate that. I hate that. Yeah, they are. I believe they are some of the instant ones. Yeah, Tim. But you know what? It's past. And I'm the kind of guy that looks forward, doesn't look back. Have I been sponsored? I'll know that in early January. Hey, Radioactive. Nice to have you on board. Yeah. But you know, there's a lot of... Anyways, we've changed the name. So, you know. I love Microsoft Edge, David Walker. It's my browser, my favorite browser that I use on the Android phone. I love this. This is a great browser. It's really amazingly good, and really love Microsoft Edge on Android. And have you guys seen? It's been downloaded more than 1 million times. It's amazing. It's more popular on Android than it is on Windows 10. But I love Microsoft Edge on my Android phone. Really is great. And it is the final on iOS also. So Radioactive's got an LG V20. David Walker's got an iPhone 6s. Woodbeast on YouTube, the Windows Phone. Tim Robinson, Lumia 640 on Windows 10. Nils Pedersen's got an HTC 10. Coolthex got a Samsung J7 2017. Wow, cool. Nothing for Patrick Manny. That's okay. Christine Bowman's got the iPhone 8 Plus. That's beautiful. Ricardo Moda's got an S7. Samsung Galaxy S7. Vault's got the Xiaomi Mi 4i. These are nice. The Xiaomi, I've seen many Xiaomi devices that are amazingly nice. So, really cool. Really cool. What else do we have? What else do we have? So, Grapple Pros also got the Galaxy Tab E. What else do we have? Let me go down slowly here, not to miss anybody. Hey, Sam Gibson, nice to have you here. Can you download the Upgrade Advisor? I guess it probably goes to somebody else. So Bobby Burgess got the ZTE Z5 II. Cool. What else? Can I get rid of some of them, Joe, without ruining the performance of my phone? You know what? One of the things I actually don't remove, because we never know what it does, is removing the Samsung apps themselves. I've never done it because I don't know what is going to happen. You know, they kind of want you to have these things on there, and it's just crazy. Niels Pedersen had a LG G4 in 2015 had a boot loop problem. So, yeah, crazy. What, let's see. So you finally, so what you did, you stopped the ones on, I guess, my guess is you stopped the, you simply stopped the automatically created albums on OneDrive. That's probably what happened. So, Monday the 11th was yesterday. So you got it? Cuba Dinosaur, great battery. Huh. The active says, I still have my Galaxy S5, need a new battery. Yeah, that's what happens with these things. That's the only thing that I hate about phones. You know, you can't change these batteries. They're built within. You're drunk again, Sam Gibson. I'm getting a little... So, what else do we have? What else do we have? So, Anthony, we're going back here. Everything is all right here. So what else? We're at, hey, we're at 2 hours. Man, I didn't think that 2 hours. Oh, that's nice. I liked when phones had a removable battery in them. Yeah, of course, because it's OneDrive that creates the albums. And the only thing that happens with the photo app everywhere is that it synchronizes. So you're happy, and that's the important thing about it. I'll make a video to talk about it. And I'll give you the credits, Gripple Pearls. I'll make a video, and I'll give you all credits and saying thanks to Gripple Pearls. So you'll have a little mention there. So Alex Tuttle, possible build Thursday. That's all we know. They're debugging. They're trying to find. My guess, we'll have one Thursday or Friday, and then we won't have one before sometime in January because of the Christmas holidays. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen here. Anthony DK has a BlackBerry. Still some people with BlackBerries. I remember when I was doing a lot of tech guy duties. Man, it was crazy. When I would go to a client and she was he or she would have a BlackBerry phone and said, "Oh, how do you do this and that? Everybody's doing this or that." And it's like, yeah, but on BlackBerry it's kind of different, Well, I think BlackBerry had great devices at some point, but I think that they're losing the edge. They lost the edge that they had, unfortunately. And personally, if somebody asks me what phone should I get, BlackBerry will not be in the in the list. I can tell you that. So Buster Brown says, I'm an iPhone 7 person, don't like anything with Android OS. And there are some people like that. I've seen some people say, I went to Android, I just can't find myself, and just they like iPhones, and it's okay. I mean, iPhones are nice devices, and if I've ever sounded disrespectful or anything. I'm not. iPhones are beautiful devices. iPads are beautiful devices. iOS isn't that bad of a, it's a nice system. It all depends what you want to do with your device. I was an iPhone guy for 4 years. But I'm happy to be outside of it now, But that's who I am. It's different. It's different. City has mobile hotspot. Yeah, well, most phones have mobile hotspot feature. Now you can just turn on your... I do this all the time since I have a lot of data now. I just switch on the mobile hotspot and use my laptops, stuff like that. That's how I streamed the CIDX barbecue. I just turned on mobile hotspot, streamed to my phone on with my laptop. It worked really well, actually. I'm sure, Gripple Pearls. I actually don't mind because I find that most of them are okay on my side, but I will do a video about it. Neil says, I had an Ericsson P900. My first phone I've ever had was a, oh God, I'm trying to remember. It's a black phone. What was that phone? Everybody had that. It was like the cheap phone they would give to everybody. It was a... I'm trying to remember what it was. I remember I had a Nokia, the Nokia 3300, something like that, which was indestructible. Indestructible. But the first one I had was a black one. It was a... I'm trying to remember what I had. I can't remember. Can't remember. Yeah, well, Anthony, are you at the latest version, iOS 11.2? I believe we are now. If you're at 11.2, they're supposed to have fixed the battery life issue with 11.2. Is it 2? I think it's 2. Or the last update anyway is supposed to have fixed the battery life issue. Alex Tuttle says, I did look at the Apple OS, the Apple iPhone, the iPhone 10, probably mean. It's a nice phone. I mean, it's okay, but it's not for me. It's not what I want. Well, you know what, Bobby? Bobby says more radio stuff in Android than iOS. There are certain types of apps that are only possible on Android. For example, a lot of people on the radio channel ask me, well, why can't I use an SDR, my RTL SDR on my iPhone? And it all has to do with permissions. On Android, Android is like Windows. Apps can do whatever they want. On iOS, they can't. On iOS, there is a limit as to what it can actually do within the phone. So there are things like running an SDR through the USB port or the USB-C connector or whatever that will never be available from the device, because they can't access everything. They can't go to the basics of the phone, basically. And that's the thing. Personally, I've always been the middle. I'm as a tech guy. As a tech guy, I was in the world of, you've got Windows stuff, you've got Mac stuff. Just looking at the snow outside over there, so it's not too bad. So, and you always get this war. There's this war of Mac versus PC, iPhone versus Android phone. And I mean, anybody that talks to a lot of people, you see the camped position. There's the Android. I will never leave Android because I love Android. iPhone, I will never leave iPhone because I love Apple. And there's the middle that will move from one to the other. I'm in the middle. As a tech guy, I'm in the middle. I like everything. Each device in each operating system has its own positive and negative points. You know, I use Windows all the time, but I got Linux here. I'm not close. I'm not Windows is the best OS in the world. When I see somebody post that, it's like, Windows is Windows, and Mac OS 10 is Mac OS 10, and each have their own plus and minus points. And you know, let's be more open, I would say. Southern Illinois Sam, nice to have you here. Just got an iPhone SE and loves it compared to his old Android. So you know, it's just oh really, 11.2 and battery life still not sorted. Wow. I know a lot of people are complaining of the battery life. Is it 3310? Ricardo Moda, exactly. The Nokia 3310. I believe that's the that's what I had. That was my second phone that I dropped a gazillion times, and it never broke down, except all the parts were flying around everywhere. But once you found the battery and the covers and everything, you just put it back, and that phone was made like a brick, and it was amazing. Dribble Pearls, I have a question. I have albums that I created myself, and when I open them up under albums, it says there are, for example, 60 pictures in the album, but none show up when I click the album. Oh, that's interesting. Has to do with something. Okay, were these albums working before you made the change, or are the ones that you actually did right now and they're not showing up? Do you think you will show the live insider build when you host your show on Thursday? If it is there and I have the time, I will try, of course. You know. But you know, Southern Illinois Sam, there's been a lot of problems lately. I can tell you that. See you next week, Christine Bowman. It was nice to have you on board. Something else like that. Well, yeah, you know, I don't trust some unknown app on Android. Who knows what some typing program is using your camera for? Yeah, you know, there's a lot of you know, there's still you know, regular talk about, you know, the Google Play Store that isn't perfect in you know, letting us know basically what apps are doing and everything, and there's been surprises, but if you stick to the Google Play Store in general, I think that you don't have that much more problems in an Android phone than iOS. And honestly, personally, you don't really know that much more about what apps are doing on the iPhone with your camera. It's not because it's the you know, the Apple Store has been known to have some bad apps. Not as often as Android, but has been known to have some bad apps. So you know, and honestly, another thing that, you know, you gotta, when you say that, look at the in the UK, the $1 billion lawsuit against Google, because it was using a loophole in Safari on iPhones and iPads to still track. It just shows you that whatever an iPhone or an Android phone you got, our privacy is on a thin line, and it doesn't change whether you're an Android or not. It's a thin line, I can tell you that. As a tech support guy, you have to like system that generates most call to you. Well, not this. Like is a big word, but you got to just be okay with it. I mean, I've got a lot of calls. You know, like I like to say all the time when people tell me, well, you know, Macs never have problems. Well, the amount of calls that I got from Mac users over the 18 years of intense tech guy duties doesn't show me that the Mac computer never has issues. I can tell you that. How much foot of snow did we get? Well, we're supposed to get close to a foot today. And it kind of looks like close to a foot that we have right now. But, you know. Entity says, do you think Windows Phone could improve if Microsoft tried? Yes. I think if Microsoft really worked hard, we would have a world with Android, iOS, and Windows phones. But they kind of just, you know, let it go. And it has a lot to do with Satya Nadella. He didn't believe in phones, and he thought, you know what, we don't need that. That's why it was just left. Niels Pedersen says, if you never try new things, you never learn. And when someone said Android are shit, but they have never had an Android device, yeah. You know, there's a lot of that. I remember a guy that called me as for a tech job. And the first phrase that he gave me was, yes, sir, I have a Mac computer that I need help with because I don't like that Microsoft shit. And the first thing that you think is like, okay. And that guy never had a Windows PC in his life. So it's like, yeah, so you just don't know what you're talking about. You know? I would put that in the same comments as a racist comments. I don't like that type of people. Okay. And why? You know? And you get this obscure story of, well, you know, one day I was at the gas station and it's like, haha. So you're basing your old facts of life that I don't like that type of person because of one encounter at one moment, plus the fact that you're an idiot, equals I hate that type of people. Pretty much. No, they were never there, Joe. Cutting off the automatic albums had no effect on that. They weren't there before. That's weird. And you didn't move the pictures around? Okay, but you have no, OneDrive isn't turned on. So that's, yeah, that is why a Grapple burst, because they're not syncing. You turned off OneDrive, so they can't sync. That's why you don't see anything in those albums. You would have to turn on the OneDrive sync for that to happen. If it says, that's why I never use Android, Google, worst in the world for spying. Yeah. I think we all have our own way of thinking, you know. If I could unshow pics from OneDrive, will that eat up more of my stuff? Can you rephrase the question, Grapple Pearls? Any stories from my work at Microsoft? Okay, one is where I was, okay, that one is I think it was the second day I've been there, and there's a vending machine, but the vending machine is very different from regular vending machines where you put your money in. It's a vending machine where you have a card and you put it in the machine, and you have a selection of stuff, and the code that you have to enter, the way that the grid is done in the vending machine, I would put the code and it was like, why is it that when I put the code I get that thing? I want to have that thing. And one of the younger guys that I am, I'm team leader. So one of the younger guys comes to me and says, well, you're not doing it right. And so he shows me, he says, well, you got to enter this because look at that, the grid is like this and that. And it's like, and then I'm like, oh, okay. And then he goes away smiling, and I'm like, okay, you're the team leader for tech stuff, and you don't understand that vending machine code in the grid. And I was like, okay, that feels like, okay, man, I think I'm going to take a break for 15 minutes. That was the funny part. No, that's for sure, Volts. They never were a leader in the market. That absolutely. Microsoft never was a leader ever in the smartphone market. But honestly, when they had about 4%, I mean 4%, it's not zero. And it's millions of phones. 4% is millions of phones. If they would have worked hard, I think they would have possibly done something without becoming really, Hey Johnny Knight, nice to have you here. It's been a while. Take care, Radioactive. Always nice to have you on board. Yeah, Google Photos will back up in the cloud, absolutely. That's one thing you can do, Grapple Pearls. Just install the, just back up with Google Photos instead. Well, basically, it's going to tell you if you get close, Grapple Pearls, because the syncing, of course, wants to upload everything you have if possible. But anyways, you can be charged, If you have no space, it's going to tell you there's no more space. It doesn't matter, Take care, Nils Pedersen. Always nice to have you on board. Next week, year-end review. Santa Claus will be here. Probably with a bottle of wine or maybe some vodka and juice. So he's going to get drunk, maybe. Who knows? Tim says always turn off my sink, especially last time. Suzanne flooded straight past the cooker. Oh man. So anyways, it's always nice to have everybody here. Yeah, that would have been nice. I agree. One thing, Waltz, I agree with that. Is if we could have gotten a x86 architecture running on Windows Phone, and let's just go back for a second. So you guys remember, the Windows Continuum stuff, and it still exists, by the way, where they were promising phone and tablet and desktop and laptop, and the whole world would be happy in their Windows environment. One of the things that I think would have helped and saved that, and I gotta say, if we would have been able to get an Intel chip in a phone to run natively what we want, That would have been a game changer, because people would have said, hey, that phone, I can run my favorite program or my favorite app, and with Continuum, have it on the big screen, or with AirPlay or AirCast or whatever, Miracast, have it on my 50-inch TV. That would have changed the whole world of smartphones, because people would have said, hey man, I can run Windows stuff on my phone. That would have changed everything. Are you going to the bars for the New Year's? Nope, because New Year's... Okay, so... Patrick Manny says bad Santa. Yes, I will have a bad Santa again, probably. My usual Christmas / New Year is always the same thing every year. Christmas Eve is family and friends, fast load included. Christmas Day is I just relax, I'm hungover and I have a headache and I eat the leftovers. And New Year's Eve is always at my brother's with family and friends once again. And that's where we drink like there's no tomorrow. And basically I go back home. Usually on New Year's Eve I go to my brother's and I come back home at 8 a.m. in the morning on January 1st, drunk. And I think it's last year. Last year we had a... I took a selfie, posted it on Facebook, and I said, hey, vodka and orange juice at, which is a screwdriver anyways, at 8 a.m., 8 in the morning, I think. And it's like we had drank all night. And that's pretty much what happens here. Well, Santa, haha, but David Walker, you know what? Santa asks for everybody to be good or bad. Are they good or bad? We never knew that Santa was good or bad. Aha. But the photo app in Microsoft doesn't have a limit. It's OneDrive that has a limit. Gripple Pearls. I would guess so, Gripple Pearls. I think that's what's going to happen if you show your OneDrive content. Yes. Yeah, that's the first part, the Windows Mobile and Windows CE and stuff like that. Yes, you are true, Vaults. In 2007, they messed up big. They messed up in 2007 much more than they messed up lately and what they had, because I forgot about that. But yes, you are right that there was a pre-Windows phone from the modern era, and let's call it the modern era and the past of Microsoft on the Windows Phone. So that was when Steve Ballmer was CEO of Microsoft, and that was when Steve Ballmer, which I never liked and I think nobody liked, was there. Yes, Windows Phone was actually had a interesting market share. You are right on that. Absolutely. Shoveling. Here is not a problem because everybody shovels for me, but you know. What else do we have? Can we see the snow? Well, now it's dark outside, but I can try to show you guys what it looks like. So let's try to put this outside like this. Here we go. So sorry for the big spots of light, but that's what it's looking like right now outside. So you see the snow. Look at the car here. That's a great example. That car right here is inside about a foot of snow. So that's pretty much what it looks like, and it's maybe doesn't show on the camera, but it's still snowing. It's still snowing outside. So that's what it looks like. I only need to shovel my balconies of vaults, because the rest of the building is shoveled by other people. And since I don't have a car, I don't need to shovel really. Well, here, to give you an idea, it's life as usual. It's as like nothing is happening. This is what? What's happening? Anything special? No. It's crazy. Here it's like, you know, I still remember, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, there was a crew from France, and they were making they were actually explaining how Montreal copes with all the snow. So Montreal is one of the cities where there's the most snow around the world. For a big city like Montreal, which is a couple of million people, we're not one of the biggest cities in the world that has so much snow. So they were showing how we have little tractors that clean the sidewalk, and the thousands and thousands of trucks that just go around the city when we have our snowstorms, that just remove the snow as fast as they can, push it on the side so that the roads are still open and everything. So we're kind of used to this. This is Canada, and so this is normal for us. There's nothing, you know, when you say nothing to see, there's nothing to see here. You know, it's not even, you know, I would say that today is like, it's not the best weather in the world to drive a car, but it's nothing compared to, you know, what it could be. It's just crazy. How do you do tech with no car? Well, you know what? I was a big bike guy. I would do tech jobs by bike. I would go around town and bike. I did thousands of kilometers on bike. And you know why? Because you don't need a lot of stuff with you when you do tech jobs. And if you need parts or you need stuff to change, you know, I would just say, well, okay, I need this part. I'll, you know, either I had somewhere close I could get it, or I just say, well, you know, we'll meet again tomorrow and something. And man, I made in 18 years, I probably made like 40,000 kilometers going by bike. Kept me really and in the city, Montreal is a very, very well maintained city for transit, bus and subway. So also that helps a lot. It's a very, very good city for that. So Brian says Michigan got 5 inches, expects 5 to 8 tomorrow. Yeah, it's kind of 2 storms together. It's just you're probably getting there part of the same thing that we're getting here. So yeah, you know, anybody that's northern part of the United States, like Patrick says, it takes 18 to 24 inches of snow to shut us down. You know, it's like here. We really need a really big storm to shut Montreal down, I can tell you that. And yeah, I saw that, Bobby, that in the south of the U.S. you guys had some snow, and it's been a while. Love you, Grateful Pearls. No, it's not wet snow at all. It's right now it's -7 Celsius, which is about what, 10 Fahrenheit, 15 Fahrenheit. So it's too cold to It's not a good snowman snow. It's too cold for that. It's more of a powdery snow right now. And it's supposed to go down to minus 18. Okay, you guys, just to let you know. And the next nights, minus 18 Celsius, 0 Fahrenheit. That's the weather coming in the next nights. So, yeah. The yellow snow or the black snow is in the... That's always disgusting, you know, in the spring. When the snow melts and it gets all like gooey, yellow, black, disgusting snow. Because in a big city, it always does that. It doesn't do that in the, you know, outside when you go into the countryside. But in a big city, when the snow melts, it gets black. It's like, it's disgusting. So, 19 Fahrenheit in Michigan. So it's probably not that far from the temperature we got here. Maybe it's 15, about 15 Fahrenheit. So, pretty close in temperature. Hey, you guys enjoy our number 100 show today in a different outlook, in a different, and talking about stuff. It was kind of cool. It was like, you know, does DX like the snow? No. My cat looks outside and says, "Hey, human, can you remove that snow so I can go out there?" He doesn't want it. I can tell you that. Will there be a special live show? The special live show will be next week. Next week we will have a I'll have the year in review on the tech stuff. Santa will be here, and either a bottle of wine or maybe a vodka and juice or something like that. So, anyways, Santa will get shit-faced probably next week, as we'll have our last show before we come back in January. So it was kind of fun today. It was you know, back and forth questions and everything. I was wondering how it would go, but it's kind of cool. But no, Paul the cat doesn't like snow. He what he does is he looks outside and says, "Not that damn thing, not that white stuff. I don't like that." And he looks at it and he puts his paw and it's like, "Nah, I don't like it. I don't like it." And at some point you look at it and it's like, "Oh, okay." He's got used to it. He's moving around and he just doesn't care anymore. But you know. So hey, I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. We've been on for 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is pretty cool. I think it's been a nice show. Is it 40 minutes? 30 minutes? Yeah, 40 minutes. It's been a really nice show. Really enjoyed this. Like, you know, just relaxed and let's talk about whatever we want to talk about. I like that type of interaction with people. It's kind of cool. So, yes, there's the Windows Insider group. Brian Wilson has opened up a very nice Windows Insider group. Please join. Thanks, Tim, for posting the link. And hey, Windows Insider Hour on Thursday. Hopefully with a new build. Or at the install phase of a new build. And then we've got 2 radio shows for those that are on the radio stuff. On Friday, we have satellite listening. We'll be listening to the Chinese satellites. We'll be tracking all sorts of satellites on the VHF, UHF range. Friday. Saturday, radio show. We'll talk about shortwave, listening to shortwave, tune around shortwave, and talk about everything radio. So it's all coming up this week in the live shows. Hope you guys enjoy the entertainment. And it's really, really cool to have everybody here. And thanks everybody for being here. It's always really cool to do these shows. Number 100, man. And nope, no batteries here, so it can't be the batteries. If the audio is cutting out, it's not my side that's having a problem with that. No batteries here at all. You know, it's kind of cool. A shortwave, you should do a shortwave show to track Santa. Huh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, why not? That could be cool. And so anyways, always fun to be here. Number 100 is in the can. Let's now go towards number 200. What do you guys think? We'll have to go to number 200 now. Hope we get there. Really hope we get there. And love you all. Love you. It's really, you know, it's an honor also to be here, because I have such great fans. And it's easy to always say to the host, "Oh, you're great and it's fun because of you." And but I have always to also say that it's great because of all of you. It's great because of everyone that's here all the time. Without you guys and girls, there would be no shows. And so it's not just a host, it's a great bunch of people that you are. And I want to thank you. 100, okay? 100 shows because of you. A great part. Because if there was no you, there would not be any me here live today. And let's reach for 200. And, you know, go back. When 200 is there, we're going to go back into... I'll probably be ranting about YouTube, shit, whatever. But you know what? One thing I'll never rant about, and one thing I'll always be happy, is all of you being here. Okay? PayPal link, why not? So paypal.me/shortwave, and if it doesn't work, you go to PayPal. Oh, I can't post this shit. Yeah, okay. You go to PayPal and you just send the money to this Yahoo email that I'm posting. And I can tell you one thing. Gripple Pearls, I will be tremendously happy to meet you in person. I will be happy to meet anyone that, if I ever go to your country, in your area, your little hometown, and we can meet, I wanna. I think it would be so cool. If I, you know, win the $1 million, one thing that I would like is go around the world and meet everybody and just say, hey, so you're that, you know, oh, you're, it's kind of cool. So thank you very much, everybody. So thanks, everybody. Really a lot of fun. Yeah, and thanks for your donation, Tim. I did see it go through on my when I was talking about the Galaxy S7 phone, and I was showing everything, and at the moment I turned it, it's like, oh, okay, I just got a PayPal donation. Thanks, Tim, and thanks everybody. I mean, it's always fun to have all of you here. Take care. Stay safe. Love you all. And I'm very, very sincere. Take care. See you on the Windows Insider Hour Thursday, the radio shows. And for those that are on the Tuesdays, next week, we are going to look at the year in review of what's happened in tech this year. A lot of stuff happened this year. And Santa will be there. Maybe get drunk and shit-faced. But who knows. Bye, everyone. Stay safe. Take care.